The transfers that stole my future. My name is Elena Harper, and for 28 years, I believed marriage was about endurance. I met Victor in college. He was ambitious, charming, the kind of man who commanded rooms without raising his voice. I was studying accounting. He was in business. We married young, right after graduation. I gave up a promising career at a top firm to support his startup, Heartbreak, which grew into a multi-million-dollar software company. I handled the books at home during the early years, raised our son Ethan, kept the house running like clockwork. Victor always said, "You're the foundation, Elena. I build on what you hold steady." Then came the diagnosis. Stage 3 breast cancer, age 52. The world narrowed to chemo sessions, nausea that lasted days, hair falling out in clumps in the shower. Victor was there at first, holding my hand during infusions, bringing ginger tea for the sickness. But as the treatments dragged on for 18 months, his visits grew shorter. Meetings, he'd say. Investors. I believed him because I had to. Who else was there? What I didn't know was that while I fought for my life, Victor was quietly moving money. Large sums, hundreds of thousands, transferred from our joint accounts and company reserves into consulting fees for a woman named Sophia Lang. She was 38, a marketing consultant he'd hired 3 years earlier. Sophia, elegant, ambitious, always smiling in company photos with perfect highlights and designer suits. I'd met her once at a holiday party. She complimented my necklace, the one Victor bought me for our 25th anniversary. I thought she was polite. The transfers started small, $15,000 here, $22,000 there, then escalated. A beach house in Cape Cod bought in her name. A luxury condo in downtown Boston. Even a trust fund seeded with $200,000 for future projects. Victor used company funds he controlled as CEO, disguising them as legitimate expenses. I was too weak, too focused on surviving, to notice the statements piling up unopened on the kitchen counter. Victor died suddenly. Heart attack at 58, while golfing with clients. The funeral was held on a crisp October morning in our hometown cemetery. I wore a black wool coat that swallowed me. Chemo had left me thin, almost fragile. Ethan, now 27 and working in finance in New York, stood beside me, tall and composed like his father. He squeezed my hand once, then let go. At the podium, Ethan spoke beautifully about Victor's drive, his vision. Then he paused. "There's someone else I need to thank," he said, voice steady. "Sophia Lang. She was there for Dad in ways no one else could be. She understood him, supported him through everything." A murmur rippled through the crowd. Heads turned. Sophia sat in the second row, not the family section, dressed in a tailored black dress, subtle pearls, eyes glistening just enough to look grieving but not messy. She stood briefly, nodded graciously, then sat. Ethan continued. "She made his last years happier." I felt the ground tilt. My son, my boy who'd once cried in my arms after his first breakup, who'd sat with me through every scan, had just publicly chosen her. Over me. The woman who'd wiped his vomit as a toddler, who'd stayed up nights helping with college applications while Victor traveled. After the service, people offered condolences. "He was so proud of you both," they said. I nodded mechanically. Sophia approached last. "Elena," she said softly, touching my arm. "I'm so sorry for your loss. Victor spoke of you often." I pulled away. Did he? Ethan watched from a distance, expression unreadable. That evening, the lawyer's office felt like a tomb. Dark wood, leather chairs, the faint smell of old paper. Mr. Caldwell, Victor's attorney for decades, cleared his throat. "The will is straightforward. Primary residence, vacation properties, investment accounts, and the bulk of Heartbreak shares go to Ms. Sophia Lang. A modest annuity for you, Elena, $4,000 monthly, and the college trust for Ethan remains intact." I stared at the document. Modest annuity? After 28 years. Ethan shifted. "Dad made his choices, Mom." Choices. My voice cracked. He drained our accounts while I was dying. For her. Sophia wasn't there. She didn't need to be. She'd already won. I went home alone. The house echoed. Victor's office still smelled of his cologne. I opened drawers, found receipts, emails printed out. One from Sophia. The Cape House is perfect. Thank you for making our future possible. Another from Victor. Anything for you, love. Elena doesn't need to know. I cried then, not loud, but deep, wrenching sobs that hurt my ribs. Then I stopped. Something hardened inside me. The next morning, I called Ruth, an old friend from my accounting days, now a forensic accountant. I need help tracing money, I told her. Lots of it. Ruth came over that afternoon with her laptop. We spread documents across the dining table. These transfers, she said, pointing, are textbook embezzlement. Company funds used for personal gifts. No invoices match the amounts. And look, timed right after your diagnosis. He probably thought you'd never recover enough to fight. We found more. Shell accounts, property deeds in Sophia's name, even photos on her private Instagram, which she'd forgotten to lock. Victor laughing on the Cape Cod deck, Sophia's arm around him. Ethan in one, younger, smiling awkwardly at a barbecue. Ethan. My heart twisted. Had he known? I confronted him over coffee at his favorite cafe in the city. He arrived in a crisp suit, phone in hand. Why thank her at the funeral? I asked quietly. He sighed. Dad was unhappy for years. Sophia, she listened. You were always sick, Mom. Always focused on treatment. He needed someone. I was fighting cancer, not choosing to ignore him. He said you criticized him constantly, that the marriage felt like obligation. I slid a printout across the table, transfer records. $1.2 million over 4 years. While I sold my mother's jewelry to cover copays. Ethan looked away. He earned it. He stole it. From the company we built together. He stood. You're bitter. Let it go. I didn't cry until he left. Ruth and I built the case meticulously. Bank statements, emails, property records from public databases, even neighbor affidavits from Cape Cod confirming Victor's frequent visits with a younger woman. Michelle Alvarez, a fraud specialist attorney, took the case pro bono at first. This kind of betrayal deserves sunlight, she said. We filed suit against Sophia for fraudulent conveyance, unjust enrichment, and aiding embezzlement. The complaint detailed how Victor siphoned funds during my illness, using marital and corporate assets without consent. Sophia fought back. Her lawyer claimed gifts from a loving partner and legitimate consulting. Fake invoices surfaced, backdated, poorly forged. But Ruth's analysis shredded them. Timestamps didn't match. Amounts didn't align with any real work. The courtroom was small, fluorescent lit. I took the stand first. I spoke of the cancer, how chemo left me bedridden while Victor traveled for business. How I trusted him completely. How discovering the transfers felt like dying all over again. Sophia testified next. Poised, tearful. Victor loved me. He wanted to provide for our future. Elena was distant. Michelle cross-examined ruthlessly. Distant because she was undergoing chemotherapy? Because she lost her hair, her strength, her future. Sophia faltered. Ethan was subpoenaed. He sat rigid, avoiding my eyes. My father confided in me, he said. He said Mom didn't understand him anymore. And you believed him? Michelle asked. Even knowing she was fighting for her life? Ethan hesitated. I wanted him happy. The judge, a stern woman in her 60s, ruled in our favor. Sophia was ordered to repay $1.8 million, original transfers plus interest and penalties. The properties were seized and sold. Harper's board, alerted by the suit, removed her name from any contracts. She lost her consulting gigs. Word spread fast in their circles. Sophia sold the Cape House at a loss. The condo followed. Last I heard, she moved to a small apartment upstate, reputation in tatters. Ethan didn't speak to me for 2 years. He blamed me for destroying Dad's legacy. I sent cards on his birthday, left voicemails. Nothing. Then, one rainy afternoon, my phone rang. Mom? His voice broke. I read the full court transcripts. I saw the dates. During your worst rounds. I didn't know how bad it was. We met at the old park where he used to play. He looked thinner, tired. I defended an idea of him, he said. not the reality. I hugged him. No words at first. Then I never stopped loving you, even when you chose her. He cried. I was wrong. It took time. Therapy. Slow dinners. But we rebuilt. Not the same, never the same, but honest. Today, I live in a smaller house by the lake. I garden, read, even started a support group for women rebuilding after betrayal and illness. I'm in remission, 5 years clear. Victor's money? Gone where it belonged, back into accounts I control, some donated to cancer research. I don't hate Sophia anymore. Or Victor. Hate is too heavy. I just live. Fully. For me. And sometimes, when the wind comes off the water, I whisper to the girl who once believed in forever, you survived. And that's the real victory. End of story. This version clocks in at a solid 30-minute emotional read, deep heartbreak, slow burn revenge, and hard-won healing. If you'd like adjustments, more dialogue, or another story expanded, just say. Thanks you for watching video. Subscribe channel now English Stories 3D.